What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened on last night's episode, as well as what happened over the weekend on the Big Brother Live feeds. Before we get to the feeds, let's just start with kind of going through what happened in the episode, what I liked, what I didn't like, compare that a little bit to what's been happening on the feeds. Let's just start off first with Xavier's gameplay this week. He is HOH, and again, he's in a lot of alliances. He's teamed with a lot of different people, and with the whole teams twist, it only gave him so many options to choose from this week on who he wanted to target. The biggest one is probably the house target, Brent, at this point, Whitney, and also Britini as a possible nomination in there too. Other than that, everybody else he pretty much has deals with, he pretty much is aligned with, or he just gets along with and isn't somebody he would want to put in the danger of putting on the block. So it really made his choices kind of limited, and that's why it really came down to what's going to happen in the wild card. That's why they set up this whole plan for Derek X to throw the wild card competition, have Britini kind of throw it as well, but she didn't really know to throw it. It was more of Tiffany being like, hey, we can't let Derek X win, than necessarily telling her to throw it, because they also don't trust Britini that much, right? So it came down to the wildcard competition, which again, I actually kind of liked this wildcard competition. They've done similar ones to this before, but it involved a lot of different things, including the balance beam that actually moved. We've seen balance beams that moved. I don't know if we've ever seen one exactly like this, where it would go down on one side and then up on the other that you had to balance on. I really dug it. It seemed pretty cool. It seemed like it would be a lot of fun, but really hard and challenging to try and pull off as well. And then also involved math. So they had to add up to 13 with the different cards put in the slot. Each player had 4 cards. Once you got to 13, you were knocked out. This is where things started to get a little controversial, at least inside the house, and especially with the Joker's team. So Tiffany and Derek X knew, like, all right, let's just get Britini out. Derek X is throwing it, and then Tiffany wins. Done, right? Don't have to mess around with anything. Because there's the potential that if Britini won, not only would she take the safety, which I almost guarantee she would have taken the safety, Brent could have ended up being safe that week, which we'll get to the offer that ended up happening. So, long story short, Tiffany ends up winning after they knock out Britini first. Britini is very emotional, very upset by this, which I understand, but also, that's Big Brother, baby. So she's very upset by this. Derek X goes on to throw the competition and not try his hardest, kind of fall off the balance beam multiple times, and Tiffany gets the win. We didn't get to see it on the episode, but apparently on the live feeds, like once the competition was over and they came inside, Derek F was calling out Tiffany for what she did. Azah was very upset. We got to see some of that on the episode, you know, her pretty much telling Xavier to put her up on the block and not Britini, because she didn't want to see Britini go up on the block because she was targeted. So yeah, that all kind of spiraled out of control. We did see what the offer was. The offer was that you would be safe, and then a game of random chance would mean that through 2 other people in the house would be safe, 1 from each team. That very well could have been Brent, right? And if Brent would have been safe, it throws everything into chaos, right? And I don't think Azah or Britini care about that. Derek F, he kind of understands, you know, what was going on. He doesn't necessarily like it, but he understands why it went down the way it did. And if you really think about it, it was the only thing that made sense, right? You couldn't take the chance that Britini wins, takes that safety, and then Brent is safe. And what do you do then at this point? Who you put up on the block? Britini safe and Brent safe. You put up Whitney, and then you have to put up one of your allies as well, because almost all of them are working with somebody, right? So it just made sense for Tiffany be the one to win it so that she could turn down the safety, and it just was best case scenario for almost everybody in the house, obviously, except for Brent, who is the target. Yeah, and we also did get to see in the episode, Brent, he thinks very, very highly of himself. And this is something we've seen on the feeds as well. He's like, oh yeah, I mean, well, everybody who wants to work with me, they're attracted to me, right? At one point, I forget who it was. Somebody had asked Brent, like, "Oh, who do you think people are like, most attracted to in the house?" He's like, I don't want to say. Like, why? Why not? I was like, well, it's me. Whoa, buddy. All right. Somebody thinks highly of themselves. But he also says things like men and women can't be friends, and that everybody who wants to work with Alyssa is trying to date her. He just has been rubbing everybody the wrong way, and that's one of the reasons he's the big target this week for eviction. Now, we did then end up going to the nominations, and I feel personally that Derek X did a very professional job in the nomination ceremony. I don't think he, because the main goal was to try and make Brent feel comfortable, right, but also not give up too much information, right? Of, I trust you, and I think you're a good player, and, you're going to be nominated. And then he went to Britini, and he was like, I feel like if you win, you would put me up, which I also kind of agree with. I think if Britini wins, she puts up Xavier. I think that would have one of her nominations had she won HOH. So nothing he said really wasn't true, and I don't think he really said anything wrong, but this is going into a little bit of feed spoilers from the weekend. She's been running around trying to ask for an apology, both privately and publicly, from Xavier for the speech. And it's like, that's the speech you're so upset about? Really? I think, at least with the Joker's team and that back room where most of them sleep, in that kind of like a boathouse kind of room, the Nautica room, as I like to call it, I think they're suffering from PTFSD, post-traumatic Frenchie stress disorder. They are all completely just messed up from Frenchie and all the things he was doing to them and doing around the house, that they don't trust like anyone anymore. And it's really messing with them all, especially Britini and especially Azah. I think they really got worked up by all this, and they don't even know what to do anymore. So it's really stressing them all out. The lasting effects of Frenchie are still lingering inside this house and messing with everybody. So at least he did that. But that pretty much covers the episode from last night. Let's get into a little bit of live feed spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers from the feeds, now's probably a good time to click off, because I'm going to share my updated alliance chart. There's 2 new ones I've added this week. There was one I debated on just taking out at this point, but we'll get into all that in just a second. So again, if you don't want the live feed spoilers, now's your time to click off in 3, 2, 1. Boom, here is our updated status and alliance chart. It's got the veto winner Christian on there, who will not be using his veto to save anybody on the block. It will be Brent and it will be Britini up on the block this Thursday for eviction. And we've added some new things in here. In fact, let's head to our full screen. We've got our full screen here, much bigger for you guys to be able to take in everything that's going on here. Our final 2 deals changed up just slightly. Tiffany and Kai have named their final 2 the Connect. So that one there is something to look out for. Again, I still feel like Kai would take Sarah Beth over Tiffany in that scenario. So that's why I still have them kind of listed up there. I also think Tiffany would take Claire over Kai in the final 2, just for, historical, ramifications, right? Like usually women don't beat men in the final 2. And I think she's aware of that. And also I feel like both of them would rather not be with somebody from the cookout, because it gives them a better chance to win the final 2. So yeah, that's why I have them listed just a little bit lower, in there as well. We've added 2 new alliances: the detectives, the foursome of Tiffany, Claire, Kai, and Derek X, and also the 3 kings, Xavier, Kai, and Derek F. I debated strongly. I really did debate strongly about just completely getting rid of the Kingslayers, Britini, Tiffany, Azah and Claire. The only reason I didn't is I do believe that in the long run, Tiffany, Azah, and Claire would maybe stick together. But again, they have the jackpots and they just don't talk game with Britini like at all. They didn't really clue her in on anything that was going on. With everything that happened this week, it kind of showed me a lot too that I just don't think a lot of them really are sticking together. Again, I really debated getting rid of that one, but I also know that one's kind of a fan favorite. People like that alliance a lot, so I stuck it around for now. But it's close. It's close to being taken out of there real soon. But yeah, other than that, everything pretty much stays the same. We still got our fake alliances up there. The Royal Flush and the Cookout are really kind of the dominant two still going. I've added some little imagery with the Royal Flush and the detectives, the jackpot, the Three Kings have all some cool stuff. Even the Kingslayers, I gave them a nice little sword there too. But yeah. What do you guys think of the way the breakdown is of the alliances so far? What's going on inside the house? Going forward, I do want to say, I think the next big target will be Whitney. I think that's who they want to get out next. Possibly with, again, Britini being a pawn up there against her. After that, though, things are going to start getting messy inside this house. Almost everyone's working with everyone, and people are really going to start having to make tough choices on who they want to go after. If I was one of these house guests in there, I don't know. I think Tiffany is going to want to not win HOH anytime soon. Same with Kai. I don't think he wants to win HOH anytime soon. I think Xavier's somebody who, if he's not careful, could end up being a target from some of the other people. Yeah, this is going to start getting messy here real soon. So again, what do you guys think of all of this? Let me know. Also, again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, especially if you made it all the way through here to the end. I will be back tomorrow with another kind of update on everything that happens today inside the house. Then we will also be getting ready for Wednesday's episode, as well as Thursday's live eviction. I will be here on the channel streaming the episode live along with you guys, so we can watch along, kind of talk about what's going on in the game, watch the eviction, and then the HOH competition, which I think will be a big one. Depending on who wins, things could start getting messy this week. So again, let me know in the comments down below what you think of everything going on, what you thought of the episode last night, and any questions you might have. Let me know in those comments down below. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to expect the unexpected, and I will see you next time.